There's a specific kind of exhaustion that sleep just cannot fix. For me lately, the world just feels too loud even. The endless scrolling, the expectations, the heavy silent pressure of trying to keep up with the life that just feels like it's moving way too fast. So you run, not from the monsters, but from the noise in your own head. You just want a place where the rain can reach you. A place where you don't have to be anyone. You just need to breathe. This place is empty. It's cold. But for the first time in a long time, it's quiet. You realize you cannot control the storm outside. You never could. But you can control this, and you know that. So naturally, block by block, you take the cold stone and you make it warm. You build your own sanctuary. And eventually the rain always stops. You step outside. The air is finally clear. Sit down, rest for a moment. You made it. Welcome to a haven. We spent our entire lives trying to get comfortable. We build walls to keep the pain out. We light the fire to keep the cold away. And once we finally feel safe, we never want to leave. But comfort is a beautiful trap. If you stay by the fire for too long, you stop growing. The walls that were meant to protect you slowly turn into the cage. You realize that this warmth isn't healing you anymore. It's just keeping you numb. To find what we actually need to survive, we have to leave the light behind. We have to go down into the deep. And this isn't just a cave. This is the basement of your own mind. It's the place where you bury everything you don't want to deal with. Your past mistakes, your insecurities, the fear of not being good enough. In the real world, we do everything we can to avoid this place. We distract ourselves, we stay busy, do the things. But the things we run from, they don't disappear. They just wait for us, here in the dark, in our own basement. Yes, it's terrifying down here. Every shadow looks like a failure. Every sound feels like a judgment. So naturally your first instinct is to turn around and run back to the fire. But not this time. This time you stand your ground. You finally fight back. Not because you are fearless, but because you're exhausted from running. You finally realize that the monsters in the dark only have power over you as long as you refuse to look at them. And then, in the deepest, coldest corners of your cave, you find it. The raw materials, the strength you didn't know you had. We always look for the happiness in the light, but the most valuable parts of who we are forged in our own darkest seasons. When you finally climb back up, you look at your haven differently. The fire is still warm, the walls are still safe, everything is the same. But you're not the same person moving down there. You're the person that survived the dark. And that's why You're stronger than your fears. Remember that. Healing. Healing is never a straight line. We always expect it to be this one massive turning point. One morning where you wake up, the sun is shining, and suddenly all your problems are just gone. But it doesn't work like that. Healing is a necessary process. It's a slow, quiet transition from the person you were to the person you're becoming. It's not a sprint. It's kind of a marathon. It's just putting one block in front of the other like you used to before. When we're at our lowest, we spend so much time waiting. Waiting for someone to come and save us. We wait for someone to understand us, to build a bridge over our struggles, so we ourselves don't have to walk through the mud. But the harshest truth is, no one is coming to build that bridge for you. You have to pick up the tools yourself. You have to be the one who decides that today. That you're going to make your world just a little bit better than it was yesterday. And there is a strange kind of peace in building. When your hands are busy, your mind finally goes quiet. You stop overthinking the past. You stop worrying about the future. You're just there, existing in the same exact moment, shaping your own reality, slowly, step by step. And as I said before, block by block you build your own path, you hang your own light, and when you finally step back and look at everything you accomplished, you finally gain a perspective. You look down at the valley where you used to struggle, and you realize you're no longer down there. There is a dangerous line between sanctuary and your cage. When you're broken, of course you need the walls. You need that silence. But the thing is, once you heal, those same walls start to hold you back. We get so used to our own safe routines that the thought of leaving them just terrifies us. But life isn't meant to be lived in just one quiet corner. And you know that yourself. So if you want to really find out who you really are, you have to be willing to lose the sight of the shore. So naturally you pack your bags and take a deep breath. And you step over the horizon. The world out here is massive. It makes you feel so incredibly small. There are no paths here. Nothing. No lanterns to guide you. Nothing. No one. Just you, the wind, the map in your hand, and the endless road ahead of you. And in life, we're so obsessed with knowing exactly where we are going. But the thing is, sometimes the best thing you can do is just wander around, not knowing where you go. Just be. Because we don't travel to escape our lives. We travel to find the pieces of ourselves that we just lost along the way. Maybe to find a new perspective. Maybe to find a reason to keep going. But then you hit the mountains. The harsh environment. Where the climb is brutal. The air gets thin. The cold bites your face. Where every single step you make just feels like a mistake. Your mind starts playing tricks on you. It tells you to turn back, go back to that warm cave, the safety of your own bed. But this is the point where most people give up. When the resistance gets just too heavy. Finally, you manage to reach the peak. And there it is. Something you was looking for. Resting in the cold. A totem of undying. It's not just an item. It's a symbol. A proof that you can face the worst. You can fall. You can break. You can even freeze on top of the mountain. And still, you'll get a second chance. You held onto your life when everything wanted to let go, but you still managed to push through that. You still managed to go through. And that's why you're here. The journey out here was filled with doubt, but the walk back is filled with clarity. So, you're finally back. The world is just as quiet as you left it. Some might ask, why would you come back? Why return to this small, quiet corner after seeing how massive the world is? The thing is, the journey wasn't about finding a new place to live. It was about changing the way you live. You didn't leave your haven to escape it. You left it to realize that you don't need to hide anymore. You hang the totem on the wall, a permanent reminder, a symbol of your second chance. You're back in the same exact place. But what changed is you, because you're not the same person. The storms of life will definitely come again. The world outside will get loud again. But this time, you won't run. Because you finally know that the real haven was never the cave. It was the peace you built inside of yourself. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath again. You finally made it. Welcome home, traveler.